What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. We're back for episode number 96 of the My Team Journey, Season 5 for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Check out the last episode in Mexico. It was quite simply incredible. I'll leave it at that. So, we move into the penultimate race of the season, and we are well behind the 8 ball in terms of the championship. We trail by 18 points to Max Verstappen. Lando needs a good result in this one if he is to keep his hopes alive of winning this year's title. But yeah, it's looking like a 2-horse race between myself and Max Verstappen. As you can see, I'm consolidating upgrades for the next season. Every department is affected, and we didn't get much notice, so there will be a lot of teams, in fact, every team, losing a lot of performance. Up until this point, ever since the regulation change got announced, I have been going ham on consolidating upgrades. I have kept one eye on trying to upgrade that ultimate tire wear chassis upgrade, but whenever I look, I don't have enough resource points to do it. And every race that goes by, oh my goodness, we have rain for the race, by the way, so that's lovely. But every round of the championship that passes by, the more and more tempting that ultimate tire wear upgrade becomes. So yeah, I think we're past the deadline now. I don't think we can even get an ultimate upgrade on at this point. But we move into the Grand Prix weekend, and after seeing the forecast, I had to do a cheeky BRB and go to time trial to get myself a setup, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my eggs in the wet qualifying or the wet race setup. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to load a wet race setup and run for the whole weekend and hope that we are on the pace come the race weekend. But that's the performance index. Mercedes and Red Bull, AlphaTauri as well, all making big gains. So as if this weekend wasn't already stressful enough, having to worry about next year's upgrades and R&D, Daniel Ricciardo, yeah, retiring. That's not a spoiler now. That's definitely not a spoiler. You should have checked out last video. But yeah, the championship prospect as well. It's all happening in this lifespan of career mode. Everything is happening at once. It's well, it makes for some entertainment, that's for sure. Practice 1 went pretty well for Lando Norris. Hard compound tires and tops out the session. Certainly no sandbagging from him today, it seems. But me, I had about 100 kilos worth of sandbags on my car, as I was down in like, I don't know, 17th place or something. Anyway, practice 2, I took away the sandbags and I pretty much showed all of my pace. So, yeah, pace looks pretty good over the course of one lap. Let's hope that it translates when it matters. Qualifying then, let's get into it. Before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave a like as well if you want to support the series and see it continue. I haven't decided whether this will be the last season or not. Definitely Daniel Ricciardo announcing his departure from the sport and this career mode has certainly made me consider things. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a video where I talk to you guys about things and we can discuss things, I suppose, and weigh up our options. But anyway, we move into qualifying 2 pretty swiftly. Banker time got me in pretty well. I think I did a 104.0 in my first session. Now the second session on a used set of tires, we're only a tenth slower, which is actually pretty good for a used set. We're going to try mediums though for the back end of qualifying, and this is in an attempt to win us this race. We know that the rain is coming in the race, but it's not coming straight away. It's going to be raining about halfway through. So by qualifying on the mediums in Q2, we will guarantee that we can make it to the rain period without making a stop. Those who qualify on softs and start on softs, they'll probably be screwed. So this is a strategy play which I am attempting. I'm risking qualifying and track position again for for the second race weekend in a row to hopefully win a race. So let's see how we go. Great run out of the last corner there, and that actually saved my qualifying lap because I was marginally down on the Delta, and we are only just going to beat our banker time on the softs. So there we go. We are through to qualifying 3 by only 0.02 of a second on the medium compound tire. What a result that is. Ignore the fact that Lando on the same tire is 0.7 clear of me. The AI are ridiculous in qualifying. We've already established this. This is also as well why my championship campaign has been so difficult. The AI over one lap have been ridiculous, and I've had to always overcome adversity in the races because my track position has just been dreadful. But anyway, qualifying 3. We're in the mix now. We can put on the soft compound tire again and not worry about things. So here we go. Final lap in qualifying. We're going to stay on board for the entirety of the lap, and you guys can see, well, just how well I'm driving, for one. But two, how well I'm driving in, well, I don't want to spoil it, but you know, if I put in a really good lap and I'm nowhere, then, you know, you got to question the AI a little bit. But to be fair, I am running still the wet setup, and I don't know if you saw it, but this wet setup has 411 wings, and we're still not the slowest in a straight line. We're actually still pretty up there in terms of the speed traps, which is rather surprising, I might add. But anyway, we're 0.3 up as we run through the final corner now. And again, it's been a great run through there. 3.5 up as we go through the long, winding start-finish straight. And we're going to stay to the left to minimize the distance to the line. And that is a 1 minute 3.489. And that's my PB for the whole weekend. So we really pulled out all the stops there. We were a lot slower than our teammate right through our qualifying 1 and 2. But Q3, we pulled it out of the bag. And we're on the second row of the grid for this Brazilian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, I don't know if you saw, starting P2. So, yeah, championship rivals starting ahead of us. But that's okay. We've got the medium compound tire to switch on to. Lando is switching on to the medium as well. Or starting on them, rather. So, Marduk Motorsport have it covered when it comes to the strategy for this race. And what I need ultimately is Lando and preferably more cars to get in between myself and Verstappen to take away points so that going into the last race, we have a good chance of winning the championship. Because at this point, we've still got, well, we've got nothing to lose because we're that far behind. 18 points. It's a big margin. Heading into the race now. Let's see if we can cut into that lead.
Formula One returns to Sao Paulo once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Brazilian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his third championship here in 2012, and in 2016, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Day. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Albon, Day, Sebastian Vettel and Sainz, Leclerc, Aitken, Fiat and Esteban Ocon, Ricciardo, Bottas, George Russell and Stroll, Gasly, Hubert, Antonio Giovinazzi and Nicholas Latifi, De Vries, Matsushita, Magnussen, they've taken a grid penalty, and Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
With your podium last race, the team are hoping for more of the same, but with yesterday's qualifying performance, it could be tough. Good luck.
Oh, Jeff, it's not going to be that tough. I only need to make up 1 place, and we've got the optimal strategy. So, chin up. We've got this one. So, here we are for the grid of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Rain to strike halfway through. That's right on the crossover point of where the softs will be dying off. So, let's hope that the rain takes a while to get here, and those who are starting on the softs will be screwed, aka Max Verstappen. So, we're going to take all the fuel out in a rain-affected race. We need even less fuel, otherwise we're going to be an overweight boat trying to go through corners. That's why I underfuel the car, because less weight equals speed. 5 red lights, and we are underway for the Brazilian Grand Prix, the second to last race of Season 5, and maybe the second last race you'll ever see of career mode on this channel. It's been an alright start, actually. We've managed to hold on to position, which is nice. Norris losing the position to Verstappen. I could have probably seen that coming as well, with him starting on the soft, and myself and Norris, we had our backs against the wall there with traction, trying to get off the line there on the harder compound of tyre. So, Max Verstappen doing what he does best, leading from the front, pulling away, making my life ever more stressful. But, I've got the rain to come, and I'm feeling much more hopeful for this race than what I was in Mexico, when things really started to unravel when we went for that undercut and it didn't work. I know that things are going to go our way in just a few minutes time, maybe more, a lot more, probably, hopefully. Anyway, through the last corner, we catch up to Alexander Albon. He's sticking in the slipstream of my teammate Norris, who can't keep touch with Verstappen at this stage. The delta is about 0.4 between the soft and the medium over the course of one lap, but that soft compound tyre will die off pretty quickly, so I'm hoping to be catching Verstappen in about 4 or 5 laps, and then from there, it should be game over for Red Bull. But, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself too much. We still have a couple of cars to get past, and we're running with a setup that doesn't lend itself too well to overtaking. 411 wings. Rain looks like it's starting to fall. I thought Lando's car is smoking as well. I thought I saw 1 or 2 drops on the screen, but here's a replay of Lando's car. It seems to be smoking as we come out of turn 4. Here's the onboard from Albon. That could either be smoke or that could be spray, but it's too early to see spray because it's not really raining yet. So Lando's car could be on the verge of retirement as we're in the slipstream of Albon, and we go to the inside. A massive lockup for Albon at the exact same time, and we are now on the podium for this Brazilian Grand Prix, slowly moving our way up the grid. Albon is going to try and have a go at us on this second DRS straight, but I don't think he's going to get us. Here's the replay up the inside of Albon. You can see both of us locked up the front tyres, but Albon's lockup was worse and carted him even wider. But, oh my goodness, the gap. We squeezed into the smallest gap possible, and we managed to do so without any contact, which was the most miraculous thing. So, lap 5 of this Brazilian Grand Prix, Verstappen, our championship rival, is running away with this race. My teammate is on the verge of retirement with all that smoke that's billowing out of his car. Surely it can't be spray. It's not raining heavy enough. It's constant. His car keeps on spraying, not spray of water. It could be some kind of liquid, which could indicate a leak of some kind. I don't know. It's weird, but it's Codemasters. It could be just rain. That's maybe Lando's making the track rain earlier than what it's supposed to. This rain was supposed to strike like 30 minutes into the session, and we're not even like 15, like we're not even 10, 15 minutes into it, and rain is already hitting us. So that's rather concerning because, like I said, Verstappen can go straight onto the intermediate tyres if it gets any heavier than this, and I have a horrible feeling that rain is going to switch us onto inters within about 3 or 4 laps, which is the last thing that we need. The gap is already 3.5 seconds and extending. We have a little look up the inside of Norris now. This is getting a bit ridiculous. Norris is slowing us up. He's holding us up, but I can't overtake. Even with DRS and slipstream, it's the 411 wings. This is the compromise that I made to have speed in the race, and especially in the rain. But that speed through the corners comes at a price of straight line speed, which is what I need. It's the all-conquering thing in career mode in F1 games. If you don't have straight line speed, you can't overtake. That's why the mantra for setting up a race car is always to have a preference for lower downforce if you're on the line. As you can see, we really are pushing the limit now, trying to outbrake our teammate. We're trying to send him the message and the team, but no one's listening. I've been talking to Jeff, trying to get him out of the way, but the team are not budging. Why aren't they budging? I mean, yes, both of us are in a championship fight with Max Verstappen, but Lando Norris is a lot further behind in the championship race than what I am. I've clearly got better pace. I've clearly set up the car for these conditions. Why is Marduk Motorsport not going for their preferred driver, the team owner? There goes Lando. He goes into the pit lane. So does Max Verstappen. This is what I've been fearing as well, because I couldn't overtake Lando. He's going to have preferential treatment for when it's time to cross over to the intermediate tires. And it looks like the whole field is in at the exact same time. So we're going to have to do an extra lap on dry compound tires when the racetrack isn't really suited to these tires anymore. So here we go, through turn 4, bit of oversteer on exit. The car is feeling actually not too bad. Not too bad up until the end of the first sector. When we got to the middle sector here, this is when it got really bad. This is when the crossover point was certainly, you know, in favor of intermediate tires. So yeah, we bled a lot of time there, unfortunately. We race to the pit lane now to get onto these intermediate tires, and we are most certainly not going to rejoin ahead of Verstappen, ahead of Norris. We're probably going to lose a couple of positions, if I'm honest. We might lose a position to Albon and Sainz, but we're going to have the intermediate tire. DRS just got disabled, so maybe... That's weird. The track was definitely ready for inters before then. But out goes myself into the fast lane and onto the race circuit once more. There goes Verstappen. There goes Norris. And I think we might actually be safe from Albon, but only just. So we're going to chuck it up in a rich and overtake, and we're going to hopefully chase these guys down for the rest of the Grand Prix. This is the phase of the race where we're actually going to have pace. We're going to have fresher tyres, so there should be no excuse. And there is no excuse, because we managed to catch the race leaders by a second since coming out of the pit lane. The gap to Lando was 3 seconds. Now it's 2.2. We go through turn 1. Bit of a lock up there. Missed the apex, which was rather odd. Then we go through the chicane, and we've lost another 0.2 randomly. And that's why. So the tires are now overheating. Intermediate tires on a wet track are now overheating. Make it make sense. It makes no sense at all. So for one lap we had blistering pace, and now we have blistering tires. Thank you so much. That is absolutely wonderful. Gotta love carcass temperatures simulators. Gotta love realistic simulation carcass temperatures, or whatever the hell they are. It's bitten us in the butt so many times over the course of career modes over the years. And, well, for a lap or two there, it was pretty bad. But thankfully, the track is getting wetter. It's getting, well, it will get to a point where the track will be suited to wet tires. Now, after that display, I have absolutely no confidence in the forecast and trusting the game to go on wets and still be able to lap at a decent pace. So no matter what happens, I'm staying on the intermediate tires. So as soon as I chuck on the wets, they will probably melt. So let's stay well away from those. But thankfully, yeah, like I said, the track is getting wetter, and the tires have actually cooled out again, but without a lot of tire wear. We wore about 14% of tire wear over like 2 or 3 laps, which was not great. We could even see another pit stop in this race because of that. And if I had overheating tires or really badly wearing tires for 1 or 2 laps, then the AI who did an extra lap on a drier track should be in an even worse position than what I am. But meanwhile, Esteban Ocon had a retirement, no safety car. What else were you expecting? That the safety car doesn't appear on my channel. That's it's just an urban legend at this point. 15 laps to go. We are catching back up to Norris after the tyres have phased back in nicely. And hopefully in this stint, we can overtake Lando. He wasn't very cooperative earlier on in the Grand Prix when we were trying to get past him. And I don't imagine he's going to take a side step now. So this becomes ever more difficult. Even now, because this time we don't have DRS to get us closer to Lando in a straight line. So yeah, it's going to be tough. But we are going to be faster than him in the corners. Hopefully a lot faster than him relative than what we were in the dry, because the setup is suited to these conditions. And yes, we are a lot faster than those ahead of us, but overtaking is, you know, catching is one thing. Overtaking is another. And Lando is in again. Right as I was looking to have a move on him down into turn 1, that was the closest we ever got. He's into the pit lane for the undercut, and it looks like these intermediate tyres are not going to make it to the end. So if Verstappen pits, then I think that's a good omen for us to make a pit stop as well. Out goes Lando with the undercut. Hopefully, with clear air for us now, I'll hopefully jump him. But I'm going to have to put in a qualifying style lap in now, because fresh intermediate tyres are golden. Like, the difference between old intermediate tyres and new intermediates is like seconds. It's a lot more pronounced on wet tyres than what it is on dry. It's like dry tyres and undercut is OP, but in the wet, normally it's super OP. So I'm doing my best job now to make hay while the sun shines. Into the pit lane we go, and we very nearly sped into the pit lane there. Tyres probably wouldn't have made it to the end, so we're playing it safe here. Verstappen is into the pit lane as well. Good stop from him. We'll need a good response from Marduk Motorsport here if we are to jump our teammates onto the new tyres. 2.6 second stop. It's not the best. Certainly not the best. We've had sub 2 second stops before, but that'll do. That's good enough. As we come out of the pit lane, it's going to be very tight between myself and Norris. There he is on the indicator arrow on the right-hand side. Norris gets through for P2. Norris is through, and we have to overtake him. Well, we're stuck behind him again. Who would have thought that my teammate would be the biggest blockade for my championship hopes, my championship campaign? Mexico wouldn't get out of the way so I could catch Max Verstappen. Thankfully, I overtook him with no team orders and won that race. Here today, he's done me absolutely no favors. He's a fast number 2 driver, but he's not a very cooperative number 2 driver. Here we go, up in a reach and overtake. We're going to overtake down into turn 1. And thank you very much. We are now clear of our teammate. The worst wingman in Formula 1 is Lando Norris. Bloody hell. We finally cleared him. That's such a massive stress of my life now dealt with, and now we have an even bigger mountain to climb. We have to chase down Max Verstappen, who is over 3 seconds in the lead with 8 laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix to keep our championship hopes alive. Where have I seen this before? Thankfully, the gap is a lot less than what it was in Mexico, but yeah, we have less laps to catch him, I suppose, this time around. We caught him by a second on this lap, so pace is looking pretty tasty. However, like we've seen, the straight line speed isn't the best. Catching is one thing, overtaking is another. Our tyres will start to die off as we get towards the back end of this race, and the track as well is actually getting wetter. This is the phase of the Grand Prix where the track is going to be suited to full wet tyres, and I don't know how my car and my tyres are going to react. We know that the AI deal better with tyre temperatures that are outside of the working window, whether it be overheated or frozen tyres. The AI deal with that better. So I've got to catch Verstappen as quickly as I can, because I don't know whether I'm going to fall off the face of the planet once the tyres fall outside of the window. So we're pretty much at that stage now. We've caught up to Verstappen now. There's 5 laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix. We're really good out of the last corner. Well, we're good through the last corner. We're not exactly the best out of it. The apex speed is pretty good, but the exit speed leaves a little bit to be desired. Somehow we're faster, ever so slightly in a straight line, but that's probably and mostly down to the slipstream. Anyway, decent run through the first chicane. This isn't a great section of the track for me, so that completely rules out turn 4 as an overtaking opportunity. Middle sector is very hard to overtake with the dirty air, so really that just leaves turn 1. And so I've really got to get the most out of this corner and then Zhongxiao, the last corner. Hopefully, with a clean exit, rich overtake, we'll be able to get him. But it really all depends on the exit that we can get, and I'm not laying down the power as good as I can. The tires are starting to go off, and yeah, as you guys know, with no traction control, the deeper you get into a race stint, the harder it becomes to lay down the power efficiently. But lap 33, we're catching up to some lap cars. Nicholas Latifi in the Haas could potentially get in the way of Max Verstappen, slow him up, and that could give me a chance to overtake at any point. So we should expect him to get out of the way at any point now, coming through to the last corner. Is that Glock? No, it's not. It's Nicholas Latifi, and he goes slowly on the apex. That's allowed Verstappen to have a shit run, and we get up the inside of him. We're in P1 in this Brazilian Grand Prix. We lead, and we keep our championship alive for now. Here's the replay. Verstappen trying to go around the outside of Latifi. That's a very terrible place to let someone go through. Completely ruined his exit. Verstappen had no idea what he was doing. Got on power late, got on the curb as well, and we just slung-shot past him in a straight line. What an overtake. What a moment for the championship. Nicholas Latifi has caused absolute controversy here in this Brazilian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, not for the first time, has been cruelly robbed of victory by a lapped car. And we're going to go on to win this race, barring any kind of catastrophe for us. We navigate a lap car ourselves. But, yeah, I guess with all this traffic, I think it might have been only inevitable that Verstappen was going to lose this. There we go.
This is your final lap of the race.
Oh, no, we got one more lap to go. One more lap. That was, that could have been catastrophic. If I slowed down and let Verstappen win. Yep, you guys saw that. Yep, okay, that has happened quite a few times before, but never have I really shown it on career mode. But there we go. This time, when we cross the line, we will be the victor of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and we head into the last race with our championship hopes still alive.
Absolutely awesome, just amazing. Well done.
Yes, we've done it again to Max Verstappen. He's gonna start having nightmares about us soon. But yeah, 2 races in a row. Verstappen leading pretty much the whole race, and then we steal it away from him in the dying laps. We keep the championship alive. 12 points is the difference to Max Verstappen. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a tough ask to beat him in Abu Dhabi. In that last race, I'm going to need fastest lap. I'm going to need a win, and I'm going to need 1 or 2 cars in between myself and the Red Bull driver if I am to come out champion of Season 5. We can't have Verstappen finishing on the podium, that is for sure. So, yeah, we can't celebrate too early. We've still got a lot of work to do. But, you know, one positive we can take out of this race is that we're now the Constructors' Champions of Season 5. So, yeah, there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. If you haven't already, check out my second channel where I upload bite-sized videos from, well, this channel and Twitch streams and new content whenever I can think of stuff. So, yeah, I'm uploading daily over there. Go check it out and you won't regret it. But anyway, that's it from this video. We have one more race to decide this championship for my team. Like I said, I'm going to have a video where I discuss some things, the future of this career mode, the future of other series that I might do in its place. And overall, just have a chat to you guys because I haven't done one in a little while. So, yeah, I think that'll be cool. Anyway, I'm so hyped for this finale. I think whatever happens now, no matter what, I'll look back on this season, Season 5, as one of the better ones I think I've done on my channel. This has been a really good one. But, yeah, it's all to be decided in Abu Dhabi. And hopefully we're the ones that come out on top. Oh, yeah. And one more thing. We're going full send.